What's going on, YouTube? Claic Yuzolt back again with another Final Fantasy Brave Exvius video, and in today's video we're talking all about the mystical Oni demon Ibara, and we're going to talk about how fantastic her LB is and how you can use her in battle. Let's get into it. Alright, well, let's start off with talking about her TMR, STMR, and her vision card. We do have a TMR that boosts magic by 60% and restores MP by 5% every turn. Again, a lot of people were trying to tell me, hey, Claic, that's a ton of magic put on a materia for a TMR, and I agree with you, but the problem is I don't see a lot of our uses using this right now when we could be getting killers or other effects, like maybe we need LB damage up, or we need, true double hand or true dual wield magic. That's why I kind of put this down lower. Not to say it's terrible, but it's one of those things you won't be using that often unless you really need to use this on Ibara when you have better weapons to trigger her TMR or STMR ability. Next up is going to be her actual STMR, which again I think is equally like somewhere in the middle ground. It is a throwing weapon that has magic 180 and has demonic scroll, boosts equipment magic by 50% when armed with two one-handed weapons. While that is a fantastic passive and a large amount of magic thrown on this thing, we do have to consider that not all mages, and not a lot of them, can use throwing weapons, so it kind of makes this more of a niche pull. Am I using it on my Ibara? Yes, but I don't have a lot of these awesome rods that I wish I did have to put on her. So even on her, sometimes the demonic scroll isn't the best option, which is why I put it somewhere in the mid tier. Moving over to her vision card, it is actually quite fantastic. Okay, it's called Demon Who Learned Humanity. It is going to give you guys, on the first step, 10% magic boost. On the second step, 40%. So a total of 50% true double hand magic on a vision card. On top of that, if it's on a female, you're getting 50% magic, and then on top of that, you're getting just 110 magic if you max this bad boy out. I think this vision card is fantastic for mages. Everybody should be happy to get a hold of this bad boy right here. So Ibara is going to be a magic damage dealer that focuses on both dark damage in her brave shifted form and then lightning damage in her normal form. And guys, I have to say straight off the bat, I don't see any reason ever to use her normal form. Her normal form is just so much worse. It is true double hand magic. It doesn't have the ×6 cap multiplier increase like this true dual wield version will have. It doesn't have a nice huge LB that finishes as strong as the other brave shifted form. And this form just overall is just better in every aspect. This form has killer passives, 50% human and fairy. This form doesn't. This form has a 150% true dual wield innately, as long as you ever TMR STMR on, so you need 50% more. This is kind of lacking in the true double hand aspect, so you kind of get the point. I would be going with this form almost exclusively unless you want to try to do some lightning damage. You have to do lightning damage and you can't do dark damage. That's when you would switch over, in my opinion. So we're going to talk about this side the most. The other side, again, you're going to build true double hand. She's going to be mostly chaining, so you want to build up just normal true double hand magic, as much magic as you can get on her and killers, and you're going to be good to go. However, I don't mess around with this form. It's all about this form for me. In this form, it's going to be true dual wield, and again, as long as you have her TMR or STMR equipped, you need to get 50% more true dual wield, equipped to her to max her out. Next, you're going to be building up as much magic, killers, and LB damage. Again, like we talked about in my video when I reviewed her, she is the magic Tifa. So she won't be as strong as Tifa, her burst won't be as strong, and she's very limited to only being able to do dark damage because that's what her LB does. But that's what she's built around, guys. Building up her LB and smashing with it. So you want as much LB damage up as you can, as much magic, and then killers. For the vision card, I've chosen her own vision card. Sadly, I'm not getting any of the boosts from this because this is true double hand, but I am getting a nice 50% magic boost. I am getting 110 magic. If you have Starlight Elena's vision card, it may be better on her in this form, depending on what kind of equipment you have. But this is where I'm at right now. I can't wait to get that demonic scroll in there in item world and build it up. So like I said, what does she do? Like, how do we use her? Well, she's going to be useful everywhere, even in DV, that you can still do dark damage. She can imperil dark damage for herself. She can buff up her own human and fairy killer. She has 50% in this form, and then she can buff that up herself through an ability. Let's see if I can find it real quick here. It is definitely a buffing ability. Let's see, where is this bad boy at? It's Azayoi. It's going to boost up your magic damage against humans, monsters, and fairies by 150%. This is a one-time use that does do some damage as well. So this is going to be like, if you are against them, you want to make sure this goes into your kit. But that's what she's going to specialize in, is doing that. And she can, because Spirit, you know, they seem like they're buffing up a lot of defense on these monsters and these trials coming out. Spirit is kind of lower. She can, in those situations, just tank stuff as long as they don't have dark resist, and that dark damage can be done. Because, again, they're directly tied to dark damage exclusively. So that's going to be the unit. Let me show you guys her in battle so I can explain a little bit more how she works. All right, guys, we have Ibara versus the Wooden Soldier, the match of the century. On the left, we have her rotation. It's going to be a 5-turn rotation. She can only be in her Brave shifted form for 5 turns, but she does so much damage. I see a lot of you guys finishing the fights you want to do after those 5 turns anyway, so we're immediately switching to Brave shift form. And one of the things I didn't mention just now when talking about her abilities is she does get her LB all the way filled up at the start of battle. So if you have an outside in peril, you have a magic buff you can give her, you have LB damage boost you can give her, and you can chain it up on turn 1. It is not beyond the idea that you just come in, chain it up, and kill something on turn 1 by like dual capping off with double Ibara LB and one-shotting things. I mean, that is very possible, just like it is with Tifa, but Ibara gets the special thing of her LB already being filled up, which is fantastic. So that's something you can do. But let's say you're not going to do that. You're going to go through the normal rotation. The first thing we're going to play with is a Weakening Appeal. This is going to give you your Imperil, your magic boost. It is going to give you 50% to Human and Fairy Killer, which is great. And then it's going to enable your quad cast that you guys need to be doing your Onkoku later on. Next up, we're going to go with Supernatural Frenzy. This is just going to do some magic damage, and then also boost damage of certain abilities, which are going to be on Koku, which is what you're going to be casting most of the time. Now, here is where some of the rotation can change for you. If you are against a human or a fairy, you want to cast Azayoi. I hope I'm saying that right, dude. Because it's going to give you 150% boost to humans and fairies. This is a one-time cast and deal dark damage. But, you know, if you're going to be doing your big LB damage next turn, you're against a human or a fairy, you definitely want to be casting this before you do that. But if not, if you're not against one of those two, you're just going to go with Onkoku and chain it up here on turn 1. So we're all boosted up. The enemy's imperiled. We had a spirit break from somewhere else, I'm assuming, and we buffed up her LB damage from another source, maybe like NV Rain or something, you know, whatever you have. Next, you're moving on to her dank LB is the best word I can use for it. Boost own magic, reduce dark resist, and it does 180 times multiplier dark damage. This thing is going to hit twice, and it's kind of very weird how you have to fit it in because she is very delayed in casting it. So I want you guys to practice, but you know, you want to have chainers chaining right now, and you got to make sure that you can fit this in there. Like, watch how delayed it is. And now it comes out. So you need to be aware of that so you don't miss out on that nice big burst. It needs to be chain cap, dude. You need to make sure you get that chain cap on there. So moving on from here, we're going to go ahead and Quadcast on Koku. This is going to be her best chaining ability. Make sure you level up. We'll go over that in a minute. And we're just going to chain that up. She gets the ×6 multiplier cap increase on this side. That's why I hate her other side. It's just not as good. And we're going to chain it up and get a bunch of LB crystals. And she has some LB fill rate in her kit. You may give her some more. She may be able to LB right now. Or maybe you give her an LB from somebody like Myra or something. You could LB right now. But let's say you didn't build it up on both of them, or you just didn't get your LB. You're going to go with triple on Koku and you Corrupt Force. It's a once every use every 6 turns, does unmitigated dark damage to all enemies. It's a big hitting ability, so we'll cast that in order to do damage and build up our LB, because that is our plan here. So we're gonna go ahead and blah 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 blah. He's getting, oh my gosh, it's so much darkness, oh no. And then you're just gonna LB again. And remember, practice, guys. Practice makes perfect. Make sure you hit this bad boy really good right there, and you're good to go. After this, she's going to transform, sadly, into her poopy form, which I don't like too much. And really, from here on, she is stuck in this form for 5 turns, dude, which is kind of sad. So she's super bursty in the first 5 turns, and then after that, you're kind of stuck in this until you can repeat it. So if you haven't killed the boss yet, it really is a simple flip. Now you're doing lightning stuff. So Weakening Appeal, you're going to instead go to Debilitating Allure, right? This is going to do kind of the same thing if you read this. Reduce lightning resist. They literally made her a copy on both sides, but one's dark, one's light, and this LB kind of sucks. It's only a 100 times multiplier, so it's it's almost half as good as the other one. So you're going to go into this. You may want to level up Arashi, because this is again the Onkoku form of the other, and her abilities are kind of the same. Look, she even has an Onizuma, which is going to boost damage against humans and fairies. I'm telling you guys, but do lightning damage. They literally, this side of her is just much worse because it's true double hand, doesn't have the ×6 multiplier cap increase, and it's just lightning damage with the worst LB. So I don't really have to talk about this side too much. If you end up getting to this point and you're you know, you're kind of struggling and you're finishing off the boss. These are the things you want to use here. This ability right here was the one I was talking about, where it does absolutely insane magic damage, but it does not have an element attached to it, and reduces spirit by 80%. This move right here, you definitely want to be casting when you can, because it just will do insane damage. But other than that, guys, that is her lightning form. Just think of her dark form. The words have changed a little bit to lightning, and the names have changed, and doing worse damage. All right, guys, so like I like to do when I finish the video off, I want to talk about which Brave abilities you guys want to level up. First and foremost is going to be Ankoku. She literally only has 3 abilities to level up. She has Ankoku, the lightning version of Ankoku on the normal side, and then Sinister Storm, which is a dual ability I didn't really talk about too much. Deals lightning and dark damage. It's a chaining ability. I feel like this is the last one you're going to level up. Not a lot of people are going to go for this ability. Ankoku is the first one because you use it a lot. Then you got to level up the lightning one because you are stuck in the poopy form for a little bit there, which is going to be on our other side, our flip side there. And then Sinister Storm maybe. But Ankoku is really all you want to level up, in my opinion, at first. And see where your damage kind of lies. And you can kind of save on some of those you know, different materials for leveling up Brave abilities, then leveling up these other things. It really will be kind of useless because her LB does so much damage. So overall, what do I think about Ibara after using her, after getting to know her a little bit better and letting everything kind of sit? I think she's phenomenal, dudes. Like, I know that she's going to have trouble when things resist dark. Her stock will plummet if they resist dark, if you cannot use dark damage against them. But even in DV, as long as they're not, like, super against dark, you can still use it, bro, and get in there and do some damage. I mean, I was using Tifa to punch these magic DV things, so Ibara's got to be better than that, right? And like I said, she's a one-shot machine, and she does a ton of damage to normal trials, because normal trials just aren't like, you know, use this element and it's way better most of the time. Like, most of the time you can get away with just imperiling your element and putting in the work and killing the monster. I think Ibara is fantastic for that. I think she's a fun unit. I think she's easy to build on her Brave shifted form. And I think she's just a ton of fun that, sadly, it was being overlooked a little bit because of, you know, just the way the Halloween thing kind of came out. And, like, she's not really that Halloween-y. I think a lot of people just, they kind of turned the page on her really quick because of Kingdom Hearts and stuff coming out. But for you Ibara users out there, she is very strong, guys, and this is how you should use her. So I hope you're having a lot of fun. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below how you're using Ibara. And if you've found her to be a lot more enjoyable than you thought, subscribe for future content. Catch me on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Claic Yuzolt. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.